On the headlines this morning, state electorate have been asked to participate actively in House of Assembly election. Communities have been urged to protect government facilities from vandalization. Serap has dragged federal and state governments to ECOWAS court over attacks on journalists. Bangladesh government has cracked down on chemical warehouses after the car inferno claimed 70 lives. Good morning and welcome to the news. My name is Nonye Nwokoye. Various institutions across the state have been enjoined to mobilize support for ABGA candidates in the forthcoming House of Assembly election to sustain the prevailing peace and stability being enjoyed by the citizenry. We have details.
The Commissioner for Lands, Mr. Anambra, made a call in Onitsha during a stakeholders meeting of the All Progressives Grand Alliance (ABGA) in Onitsha North and South local government areas. Mr. Onukuba emphasized that a state legislature dominated by ABGA members will guarantee uninterrupted good governance and delivery of democracy dividends in the state. He noted that ABGA governments in the state in the past 13 years have proved that the party is people-oriented, as evidenced by the consistent and steady improvements in the socio-economic well-being of the state. Other ABGA stakeholders in Onitsha North and South local government areas who spoke during the event were the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Vigilante Matters and Chairman of the State Vigilante Supervisory Committee, Chief Ikechukwu Aduba, a veteran goalkeeper, Mr. Emmanuel Okala, all the House of Assembly candidates of ABGA in the two local government areas, as well as the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Grassroots Media Mobilization, Mr. Ibn Amuta, they stressed the need for relentless efforts and door-to-door campaigns by party faithful to ensure another resounding victory for the party in the March 9, 2019 House of Assembly election.
The Cathedral Administrator of St. Patrick's Cathedral, Awka, Reverend Father Matthew Atansi, has encouraged Christians to always speak out against evil and immorality. Reverend Father Atansi, who stated this in a homily during a mass, said people should have courage to express their hearts and should examine themselves to know if they are on the right track in doing the will of God. Amaka Chibuzo Okoye filed this report taken from our studio.
Reverend Father Atansi cautioned the parishioners against all forms of corruption, get-rich-quick syndrome, and other forms of ills, and charged the youths to shun sinful acts.
Na-ewenitekwa ime ezi omume, ịkwụba aka ọtọ, ikwu eziokwu, iwepụ corruption na ndụ anyị. Mana oke ọchịchọ bịazi mee onye ọbụla na-achọ sọsọ nke a ga ihe ọ ga-akọta kọmiti onye kọta ọkọ n'ọnụ ya.
The Vicar of the Anglican Church of the Holy Spirit, Oka, Reverend Canon Dr. Rex Kalu, says it pays to embrace Christ and work consistently towards gaining salvation. Reverend Canon Dr. Kalu, whose sermon centered on deliverance from the bondage of sin, lamented that people are tied in various bondages because of ignorance, stating that if they allow Christ to take over, they will be set free from all shackles. Reverend Canon Dr. Kalu lamented the situation of things in the country and called on Christians to pray fervently to overcome challenges.
People are tied in various places and they cannot express themselves fully. And so we are saying that people should invite Christ in their lives and live a prayerful life in order to be free from the bondage of Satan, from the bondage of sin.
Also at the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Aroma, Oka, the assistant pastor, Mr. Ogudu Onuabuchi, said, "It is important to appreciate and give thanks to God each morning for His mercies, noting that the heart of ingratitude lacks everything good from God."
Today being the first Sunday in the month of March, we have come to thank God for all that He has done for us. It's important to appreciate that when you appreciate God, when you give thanks to God, God will do good.
The Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Community Liaison, Chief Ambrose Egwongo, has called on the citizenry to take full ownership of government facilities in their various areas. We have details of the report.
Speaking to the ABS in Oka, Chief Egwongo said that the call has become necessary in view of indifferent attitude of the people towards government facilities, reminded them that they contributed to those projects through tax payments. He said that the ongoing light-up project in the state by the Obiano administration is aimed at developing all the communities across the state and called on the people to always support government programs and policies. The Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Community Liaison said the Street Light project has restored nightlife and called on the people to safeguard them from being destroyed by vandals. Chief Egwanwu used the opportunity to call on the citizenry to be alive to their civic responsibilities, especially in the areas of tax payment, to enable the government to serve them better. He called on eligible voters in the state to vote for APGA candidates in the forthcoming House of Assembly election to enhance development of the state.
The Ndibo Unity Forum, a pan-Igbo socio-political group, has appealed to Nigerians of Igbo extraction to come out en masse and vote on March 9th governorship and State House of Assembly elections. The president of the group, Mr. Augustine Chukwudum, who made the appeal in a statement in Enugu, said that the call became imperative following likely apathy, which might occur after Saturday's presidential election. He called on the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to ensure that the election is free and fair, advising people to stop selling their votes during elections. The president of Ndibo Unity Forum called on the National Orientation Agency to help in voter education and guard against the menace of vote buying and selling. According to him, the National Orientation Agency should educate the people on the need to know the power in the voter card, which they have in their hands. You're watching ABS Television News. Up ahead, Serap has dragged federal and state governments to ECOWAS court over attacks on journalists. And Bangladesh government has cracked down on chemical warehouses after the car inferno claimed 70 lives. Please don't go away. This and more will be coming after the break.
Here is a public service announcement. Anambra State government cancels collection of levies and fees in all markets in Anambra State. This is to inform the public that Anambra State government has cancelled the collection of all forms of levies and fees in markets and streets in Anambra State. The cancellation will be in effect until 1st June 2019. The 3-month cancellation period is to enable government and leadership of the various markets to deliberate and agree on a better and more effective model of collecting fees and levies in the markets. The public is hereby also reminded that the ban on sales of emblem is still in force. Anybody caught violating this cancellation and ban on sales of emblem will be arrested and prosecuted. This is for the attention of market unions and their leadership, traders, security agencies, and the public. Announcer, Mr. C. Dawn Adenoba, Honorable Commissioner for Information and Public Enlightenment.
You're welcome back to the news, and now to our national news. Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project SERAP has dragged the federal and state governments to ECOWAS Court of Justice in Abuja over the frequent and repressive application of the Cybercrime Act. SERAP submits that under international freedom of expression jurisprudence, the federal and state governments are violating the rights to freedom of expression and access to information. It explains that the idea of democracy is that people are encouraged to express their criticisms, even their wrong-headed criticisms of elected government officials, in the expectations that this process will improve the process of government. It explains that in circumstances of public debate concerning public figures in political domain and public institutions, the value placed by legal principles and jurisprudence upon uninhibited expression is particularly high. It made clear that the systematic and persistent use of the Cybercrime Act and other similar laws on alleged cyberstalking to prosecute and imprison journalists, bloggers, and activists for their criticism of public officials runs foul of freedom of expression principles. And on business news, the National Bureau of Statistics said the country recorded a total trade value of 32.26 trillion naira year-on-year in 2018, representing 39.3% increase over the corresponding period in 2017. The trade value for 2017 stood at 23.16 trillion naira. The Bureau said the volume of total merchandise trade in 2018 was the highest recorded since 2014, nearly double pre-recession levels. The Bureau said during the fourth quarter of 2018, total merchandise trade stood at 8.60 trillion naira compared to its value of 9.06 trillion naira recorded in the third quarter of the year. It said the total export component of the trade recorded at 5.02 trillion naira represented an increase of 3.5% over the third quarter of 2018 and 28.5% over fourth quarter of 2017. Bangladesh is cracking down on chemical warehouses in historic Dhaka district a week after a fire killed 70 people in buildings used for deodorant and plastic storage, an official said today. 5 task forces led by military officers, police and officials have raided old Dhaka buildings and cut off utilities to at least 50 buildings in the past 3 days after chemical warehouses were found in their basement and underfloors. The owners of the buildings have been ordered to relocate the flammable chemicals to safer places outside the capital as part of the initiative launched on Thursday. The crackdown is in response to a massive fire which broke out on February 21 at Chowk Bazaar, a 300-year-old historic old Dhaka district, killing at least 70 people and injuring another 50. Fire service officials said a warehouse of deodorant and granular plastic in one of the 5 buildings that caught fire filled the inferno, which took more than 12 hours to control. And on sports, Ola Aina and Kenneth Omeruo have been ranked the most informed Nigeria players in Europe's top 5 leagues for the month of February by CIES Football Observatory. The CIES Football Observatory had rated players on a match-by-match basis by taking into account the pitch production and efficiency at both individual and collective level to compile the list. The statistics suggest Ola Aina was the most outstanding Nigerian player last month with a ranking of 78.8 ahead of CD League's legend defender Omeruo at 72.7. The wing-back is enjoying a fine season at Torino and played 90 minutes each in their 4 games against Spal, Udinese, Napoli and Atalanta last month, scoring his maiden goal in the Serie A on February 10 and helping the team post 4 shutouts. And now remember that you can follow news and programs on ABS from any part of the world by logging on to our website www.absradiotv.com. Like us at www.facebook.com/absradiotelevision. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ABS Radio TV. And the main points of the news once again: state electorate have been asked to participate actively in House of Assembly election. Communities have been urged to protect government facilities from vandalization. Serap has dragged federal and state governments to ECOWAS court over attacks on journalists. And from the foreign scene, we brought you a report that Bangladesh government has cracked down on chemical warehouses after the car inferno claimed 70 lives. And that's the news for this morning. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Nonye Wokoye. Good morning.